minutes.
It's like storms get this thing organized, flip around. All right. We're still getting all the water from down south that goes into that.
Word in any way. I believe that this is at best a minimally acceptable proposal in terms of the other parties who, although not sitting at the table right now, have an extreme interest in what this says. And I will also go back to what brought on my other no vote, and that is the department has worked hard, diligently to bring forward a proposal. And I am very uncomfortable dissembling it in this setting.
Okay.
There's some question about whether or not we should restrict the dispatch to just gun, crossbow, bow and arrow, and muzzle. We should allow other methods of dispatch.
I know probably one of the most controversial things we use is the club, but in a lot of cases, small tap on the head, a lot of animals dispatches them quicker than most.
And again, I want to say that people not sitting at this table who have an extremely deep interest in this issue, this is a critical concern. Humane dispatch.
I don't think we should use the word humane. We'll come to a vote on this, I assume, but if we vote, I might suggest that we revise the wording to remove the word humane. The definition of that word involves compassion and could be misleading, misinterpreted.
Well, I revised that to read safe and expedient manner.
If we have no, should we add the word legend? If we're also concerned about making sure we don't exclude that.
What word? Bludgeon.
Bludgeon.
So in that, the AVMA guidelines for euthanasia on page 42, says manually applied blunt force trauma to the head can be a humane method of euthanasia for neonatal animals with thin craniums if a single sharp blow delivered to the central skull bones, sufficient force can produce immediate depression of the CNS and destruction of the brain tissue.
We could add manually applied blunt force, and that would still meet the requirements of the statute. The motion is to revise the wording of 4.16, basically keeping it as written up until the word crossbow on the second line after the word, keep the wording up until the word arrow at the end of, toward the end of the second line. After the word arrow, add a comma and add the words manually or manually applied blunt force. The rest of the 4.16 would read as on page 5 currently. So the amendment that I'm proposing is to add manually applied blunt force, and that is to address municipalities that cannot use firearms.
I have a quick question or feedback. Why don't we instead just add or in accordance with the association that Bob has been reading from the Veterinary Medical Association, or in accordance with their guidelines?
Because how many trappers are going to read that to know what they are? They're supposed to be. Yeah. No offense to
Well,
I think just from a presentation perspective, I think it's a little bit more palatable.
Yeah, and if I could, Mr. Chairman, I brought this language with actually the help of legal counsel who pointed me in the direction I needed to go with this, so that in fact the definition was in line with taking in other sports in order to address one of, how would you say, a central concern of people who are putting a lot of energy into this, that are not sitting at this table. And in terms of decisions we've made tonight, and I don't go making any bets on my prognostication, but I'm telling you that you have set yourself up for a difficult time in the legislature.
David, I just have a question. Is your statement in regards to the addition of manually applied blunt force?
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
So you believe
absolutely
the addition of that phrase will be not regarded well by the legislature?
If people can't accept the fact that things die when you kill them, how are we possibly going to placate that? Actually, I just don't understand why we're tiptoeing around this. They say when and how. Expedient and safe, both to the trapper and to the surrounding people.
But the statute, you guys want to add lethal injection or not? Majority to add lethal injection? Okay. I'd like to withdraw my motion and I'd like to present a new motion.
All right, what's that?
Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that 4.16 be revised as follows. Please keep the language as written on page 5 up until the word arrow. After the word arrow, a comma, insert the words or manually applied blunt force or lethal injection, period. The rest of 4.16 would read as defined on page 5.
You gotta be really careful about this lethal injection stuff. You just don't say casually, oh, that's okay to do. Most people are not going to be able to do this. They're legal and qualified play. If that were the case, then people walking up behind you in the airport going, I think lethal injection is not smart. Okay, it makes it sound good for the bunny hunters.
The motion on the floor does include blunt force and lethal.
Yes, that's why I could withdraw my current motion, or we could vote this motion down, or let it run.
Do something.
Personally, I feel I should, based on commentary we've heard in the past 15 minutes, I'd like to withdraw my motion.